Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to yet another World Tour video. You're joining me here once again in my creative world free for the 8th and final time. That's right, 8 times we've toured this world, and this is going to be the final time, guys. Can you see that glowstone in the back there? That's the world boundary. I've filled up this entire world. Just in case you guys have missed any of the previous tours of this and you're interested in seeing all of the previous tours, I will leave a link in the cards and in the description below to my World Tour playlist. But now that all of that's out of the way, do you guys want to see what I've been up to? Let's take a look, shall we? So, starting from the left-hand side and going all the way over to the right. I don't know why I like to tour it going from left to right. It must be some sort of weird OCD thing. We have SpongeBob. Many of you guys will probably have seen SpongeBob before. I decided to, the first draft of him, like this is the first SpongeBob statue that I ever made. I wanted to make him in this back left-hand corner because I wanted to develop him and I didn't want to kind of like ruin the surprise by, you know, I didn't want him to be seen in any previous World Tours, so this is kind of like the first draft of him. He's the exact same. I felt as though I nailed it on the first try, although you guys didn't seem to like him as much as I thought you would. I thought you'd love this thing. I was wrong. Hey, it's not the first time. Just in case you guys haven't seen him before and you want to make him, there is indeed a tutorial on the channel. If you just search like SpongeBob tutorial, something like that, I'm sure it'll come up no problem. Moving along, here we have Plankton, and I showed you guys him in the previous World Tour. Right at the very end, we have a nice little Plankton statue. I decided that, hey, I made a SpongeBob statue, why not make Plankton? It was kind of triggered by the making of the Chum Bucket. I decided to make him along with him, and I really like him. I really love this statue. I think I uploaded a tutorial of him, I think last week sometime, so if you guys check through the recent history of the channel, there's a tutorial for Plankton in the very, very near past. I like him. I'm a big fan of him. I actually like him more than the SpongeBob statue, and the SpongeBob statue takes like, I don't know, 6 times longer to make. I don't know why, I just like him. I really like the statue. There's a little bit of charm with him, but I kind of like smaller statues and smaller houses, so maybe that's just my personal thing. Tutorial on the channel. Now we have a few houses coming up. I actually built quite a few houses this week, guys. So, this house, I'm not sure if any of you guys will recognize it, but a long, long time ago on a planet far away, I think either the first or second house tutorial that I made, I think it's called like Wooden House 1 or like Spruce House 1, something like that, and this is actually a direct copy of it, except I changed the materials and I did change like the walls of the house ever so slightly, and I kind of, in my eyes, I kind of improved it a little bit. It looks pretty nice, so this is kind of just like a repeat of one of the very first houses that I uploaded on the channel, and I figured that I'd just kind of, you know, do it again because I really liked the design. I just didn't like, I didn't like some things about it. Like, I didn't like the materials that we used. I think I used like oak wood planks and stuff in it, or I used spruce wood planks, and I didn't like it as much, so I kind of like redid it with well, spruce wood and some birch wood planks, and it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I really like the layout. So no tutorial for this just yet, but I'm sure that I'll be doing this sometime in the future. It's a cool looking house. Moving on to this house, and you guys might be able to see its counterpart over there. So, this house right here is actually based on, have you guys seen, I think it's like Modern House 8, something like that, or Quartz House 8, I should say. There's a Quartz house that I made. It actually got insanely popular. It's a very small house, really easy to make, but it has a layout that's extremely similar to this one. And I like the layout so much, and I like small houses, as you guys know. I've actually got a miniature house series on the channel right now. I like small houses so much that I kind of wanted to apply the same layout to both a wood and a brick house. So I'm sure that you guys might have seen this on the channel if you're into my houses in any way, shape or form, but this is heavily based on a quartz house that I made. I guess it'd be a little while ago now. I think it's like 500,000 views, something like that. Quartz house number 8-ish. Yeah, so I wanted to try it with the wood, and imagine that there's water in the pool below the balcony, and then there'd be a nice little bit of a garden around it. It looks pretty nice, to be honest with you. I might include this in like part of my miniature house series. So no tutorial exists for this just yet, but I'm sure it will in the future because it looks really cool, in my opinion. Same thing with this brick house here. It's actually identical to the wooden house that we have right there. It's wooden counterpart, except I just wanted to make it out of brick, and I think I'd probably tutorial both of them because I actually really like both of them. They're really cool. They are literally the exact same house, made out of different materials, of course, but I don't know, I just really like it. I like the layout. I guess that there's a reason that the original Quartz one got popular, because I guess you guys liked it as much as I did, but no tutorial exists for the just yet, and remember that there is supposed to be a pool there and a little bit of a garden. It does make it look ever so slightly better. No tutorial just yet, but I'm sure it will in the future, probably on a Wednesday in the miniature house series. Moving on, I kind of made another Quartz house, so this Quartz house is heavily based, all of these houses are heavily based. I kind of like take one idea and I keep expanding it and expanding it and expanding it, and then I eventually end up with like a giant house, and then I kind of like come up with a new idea and follow the same pattern. But this house is heavily based on the previous like Quartz house that I made. I think it's like Quartz House 13 or Quartz House 14. I'm not sure. I've built loads of them. And I don't know, I kind of just messed about with the shape a little bit. I kind of have like, it's kind of like a staircase house. The previous one was supposed to be a little bit like that. It's kind of like an L shape in, you know, it's kind of like shaped like a staircase. And I kind of took a similar deal and I made this thing right here, and I kind of like it. It's not my favorite one that I've built, so I don't know if a tutorial will eventually exist of this, but I might do. I kind of like the house. If I added 2 pools on the front of the house, like one here, if you guys can see where I would add it, and one here on the right hand side, it'd probably look really good with a little bit of a garden. And I might also get rid of the glass pane. That might improve things slightly, but I'm not entirely sure. No tutorial for this just yet, but I might mess about with it and it might happen in the future. This, I don't know why, but I was kind of feeling in the mood to make like a survival house. So I took some common materials that you'd find, or what I found. All I could find when I was doing survival, my survival series, all I ever found was like oak wood planks and oak wood. That's all I could get, like stone and oak. That's all I managed to get. So I thought that I might build like a little mini beginner kind of like survival house, and I think it looks pretty cool. But I don't know if I'd tutorial it. I mean, is it too simple? Is it too? I don't know. Would anybody be bothered to make this? I don't know. That's sometimes a problem that I come across with making some of these houses. I think that you guys might like this, like a little nice, small, simple survival house. Because I mean, when I first started my survival, I kind of wanted to. I kind of wish I had a design in my head that was nice and small, easy to make, and had all of the materials that I knew would look good. That weren't too hard to get, so maybe you guys will see this sometime in the future. It's really easy to make. I might just do a tutorial of it, why not? But I kind of like it. No tutorial exists just yet, but I think it's nice and easy to make, easy to get a hold of the materials. We'll see. Moving on here, so here we have a slightly bigger house. I kind of call this house like the house on stilts. Let's take a look from the start, and then let's move around it. So the idea with this house is I kind of just wanted to build something ever so slightly off of the ground. I wanted to build something a little bit bigger, and I wanted to build something that I've not necessarily made before. And I've not really made a house along these lines yet. It's kind of like a brand new design for me. Really cool looking house in my opinion. I don't have one that's got like a layout that's even close to similar to this, to be honest with you guys. I mean, it's got really small balconies, it's on stilts, and it has this thing in the center of the house. I don't know, it's a pretty cool looking house. I kind of changed things up a little bit. All of these houses, except the survival house of course, are kind of built upon previous houses, and this one's kind of just, it's just kind of new and random, and I quite like it. No tutorial for this just yet, but I'm sure that there'll be one in the future because I do quite like this house. Now we're moving on to some statues. Then I got into a statue building mode, so I was checking out your guys' suggestions, I was reading some comments, and you guys wanted to see a Markiplier statue, so who's going to be next for the YouTuber statues. I think. I can't remember. I sometimes build YouTuber statues and statues in advance, and I don't like to release them all at once because I have like 7... I'm not even exaggerating, I might have like 7 statue tutorials already done, and I just don't like to release them all in one go because the channel's a little bit more than that. I like to, you know, mix it in with houses, a little bit of adventure, a little bit of pixel art, a little bit of statues, and some miscellaneous stuff. So I might have another YouTuber built before Markiplier here, but he's probably going to be coming up pretty soon. So I'll listen to you guys. I've got a lot more YouTubers to build. I've got a nice little list of what order they're going to be built in. Cool looking statue though. No tutorial exists for him just yet, but in the future, probably pretty soon, within the next week and a half, you'll probably be seeing this guy. Moving on, so... it's been a long time since I've done anything Spider-Man related, and as some of you guys might know, my favourite skin is this Spider-Man skin right here. This statue is actually based on this black suit. I kind of just wanted to build something Spider-Man related. Whilst I do like this statue here, I'm wondering whether he would look better. Imagine if I used black instead of dark blue, and if I used dark blue instead of cyan. I wonder if it would look better. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that alternate Spider-Man suits are going to be coming up. I've got this guy, and there's kind of another one which was also a suggestion that I kind of like. I kind of like the Iron Spider. He's a little bit different. He's kind of got like a Dr. Octopus slash the Flash sort of thing going along, so I might also build him, but they'd probably be quite staggered. I definitely like the dark suit though. I should have probably built it a really long time ago when I did my first Spider-Man statue, but hey, that's how these things go. No tutorial for this just yet, and I might tweak the colours. Here we have Ant-Man. This was not my own design, guys. Again, we're whipping out the skins from the skin pack. This is Ant-Man. This is his skin from the Marvel skin pack. I figured since the Ant-Man film's coming up, and since I do keep getting a lot of suggestions, guys, I've read your suggestions, since I keep getting a lot of suggestions to make Ant-Man, I built the statue. I don't think it looks particularly great, but I don't think that that's the statue's fault. I think it's the original skin's fault, but I'm sure that you guys will be seeing this in the future. I'm sure I'll be doing a tutorial for it, probably closer to when Ant-Man is probably released in the cinema. I don't think it is just yet, but I think we're coming up on it. It might even be out by the time you see this. I've got no clue. I'm getting really bad with when films are actually coming out. I don't know what's out at the moment. But yeah, no tutorial exists just yet, sometime in the future. Here we have another house. This is just another Quartz house. It's not particularly built upon any of the previous houses, although I'm sure I have houses which kind of look like this. I don't know how fond I am of this design, but it wouldn't surprise me if... Oh look, I've made a mistake on the back here, if you guys can see that. It wouldn't surprise me if I either tweaked it or added a garden or something and kind of like made this to my specifications, and if I released it, I'm not entirely sure. We would have to see. So I don't know about this. I think I actually know how I would immediately improve it. Can you guys see how we have like these quadrants on the house, like these square shapes on the house? I think I might add one here on the back left hand corner, and one here on the back right hand corner, and I think that might improve the look of the house. Either that or it'd ruin it completely, but we'd have to see. I think that might actually make the house kind of cool and a little bit different, but we'd have to see. You know what, now whilst I'm looking at it, it's kind of based on like a brick house and maybe even a wooden house that I've done in the past. But no tutorial exists for this just yet, but I'm sure sometime in the future once I've messed about with it. Here we have my very first attempt at an apartment complex, guys. How do you like it? Does it look familiar? If you guys checked out the last house video that I uploaded, my last proper, like, on a Saturday house, not a miniature house, my last brick house, which is over there actually, let's take a look at it. So, last week, I built this house. Brick house, kinda nice, and at the end of it, I kind of realized that it wouldn't take too much work to turn this into an apartment complex. So that's exactly what I did. I came all the way back here. I added an extra, like, row of rooms or what have you. I added like an extra bit on the left hand side, and then I kind of made it double wide, and on the back here we also have some balconies. I quite like this thing. I'm not sure if you guys will like it or not, but I think that from this view especially, I don't know, I kind of get like that sort of apartment complex feel. It's really easy to make actually, which is why I really like this thing. Although it does take quite a lot of time to build. There's quite a lot here. It just takes a while. There's a lot of blocks, but I think that you guys would like this. We'll have to see. I'll probably be doing this in the future. I am quite fond of this thing. No tutorial yet. Maybe sometime in the future. Moving along, this is the last miniature house that I decided to make, and it's not exactly miniature. This is actually kind of like a full-fledged like quartz house. Miniature houses, you're really not supposed to be able to get around them, and I'm not entirely sure why I didn't just upload my tutorial for this like on a Saturday or something, but I uploaded this on the channel I believe 2 days ago, so if you particularly like this quartz house, feel free to check it out. Pretty nice looking if you ask me. It's based on a previous house that I made just last week, miniature house number 4, except I made it ever so slightly bigger and I added some more stuff to it. Pretty nice looking house, very cool. Tutorial on the channel if you want to go and look for it. Now we have 2 things left. I kind of got into a logo mode again. Here we have my prototype for the Flash logo. So it's not exactly done, guys. So, you know, bear that in mind. And that dark blue block in the center of the lightning bolt, that is the very center of the pixel art, so that's why that's there. It's not part of the logo. That's for building purposes. That's how I sometimes make some of the circles around it, and I use it for other reasons as well. So if I expand that circular shape that surrounds the lightning bolt, and if I mess about with it slightly, tweak it a little bit, we'll have ourselves a Flash logo, and that'll join some of the other logos that I have. I've done like Green Lantern, I've done Batman, Superman. I kind of want to add the Flash to it. It's not done just yet, but it is just that outside part that needs messing about with. The lightning bolt itself is actually kind of fine. And finally, moving on. So this is kind of like a miniature version of the Fairy Tail logo. You guys into anime at all? I'm pretty sure you are. I get a lot of anime requests. I think that there's a decent amount of you that do like anime. Fairy Tail's an anime. You can find it on Netflix pretty easily. I think there's like 50 odd episodes on there. I've been watching a little bit of that recently. I think I'm about halfway through. I should have probably have answered this in my Q&A. I'm kind of into anime. I've not been into it for that long, but I really like it. So I decided to build this, and I'm going to do some more anime-related builds, I think. I'm going to get some logos done, and I'm going to maybe, you know, maybe some characters, maybe some weapons. I mean, we've got Goku and Monkey D. Luffy all the way over there on that previous row, so we'll have to see. And that's the last thing in this world, guys. If you guys can see that glowstone over there, and if you just kind of like perpetuate it over to here, if you just kind of like extend it in your mind, there's really not enough room to build anything else here. And that's the end of the world. That's the world boundary. That's the last one. That's it. Everything has been showed. It's over, guys. I almost want to shed a little bit of a tear. Look how long this episode's been drawn out. Oh, I'm so bad at this. But then again, that's what I do. I talk and talk and talk over my creations. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this world tour. I might do like a quick complete world tour so that you guys don't have to watch like, I don't know, like a few hours worth of world tour. I might make like a quick 40 to hour version of like the whole world. That's how long some of these worlds seem to take. Like in my previous world tours, like my creative world 1 and 2, their whole world's completely filled, and they usually seem to take about an hour to tour. So I might do a similar thing here if my voice can handle it, and I might upload it sometime next week. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed this series, and I might already be working on my next world. My next world, I've already got like half a row sorted out, and it might feature a big giant iPhone and maybe a McDonald's, but that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You guys won't see it for a couple of weeks, but thanks for watching, guys, and I think I will do like an entire world tour. I think that has to happen, so I will see you guys in the next tour.